Hello and welcome to the workshop, episode 369. It's episode 369. It's workshop time, so we're gonna sock it to you one more time. The way it works on the workshop is we've each been given a randomly assigned topic. We have to do as close to 5 minutes on that usually pretty ridiculous topic as we can, and then we offer each other notes and suggestions and tags on the topic. Then we turn it around, we do the same set again, with the same rotation again, where we each work on our own material, and we offer notes again, and at the end, we plug anything we've got coming up. Starting up, we're going to go from left to right with Jester. That's me. Hey, you guys. And this is the workshop. It is a comedy safe space. We are just trying some material out, and tonight, my topic is safe spaces. So that's pretty good for me. Now, I am in Canada, which has a reputation for being a safe place for snowflakes. So, also, the Proud Boys started in Canada. Sorry, I know I think that's the way some of these groups work. Is it's easy to rage against the minorities in Canada when there's so few of them. So they just try it out here. It's like working it up your way to America. That's like the nationalism leagues. But anyways, the Proud Boys leader has been whining recently that the members of his group are being persecuted ever since January 6th. Oh, honey, it's pronounced prosecuted. People are saying, you guys, they were just there to hang. So, it's weird that these people who are so fond of bunkers are so offended by safe spaces. Who doesn't like safe spaces? They are safe spaces. The fucked up thing is that advocating against safe spaces is ultimately advocating for dangerous spaces. Now that is a real Antifa thing to do. It's a weird fucked up. Oh, but you know what? It's also, if we're talking about turning school safe spaces into danger rooms, that's also totally a Professor X thing to do. He did do that. But most of those kids turned out fine. 1 out of 5 of those kids who went into the danger room tried to destroy the universe at one point. But most of them ended up fine. How can I explain safe spaces in a way that Fox News viewers can appreciate? Okay. Gendered potatoes. Y'all seem to like gendered potatoes. Okay. So like a gendered potato, students and gendered potatoes, they need a safe, nourishing environment for their squishy little potato heads to grow. So that they can grow up to like butt off little tater tots of their own. I don't know. I'm trying to use family values to explain safe spaces. Maybe that'll work. There are some garments that are supposed to have safe spaces in them that are inexplicably missing the critical points of those garments. So, first of all, I don't understand the tank top. It's an undershirt that, first of all, does the thankless job of covering up the male nipple, which apparently is fine just about anywhere anyways. But if an undershirt does one thing for me, it's sponge up the pit stains. So tank tops go into the same category for me of useless underpants as crotchless panties. They're not doing their job, you guys. Every time I see a 45-year-old with Oakleys on, doing a live stream on YouTube, streaming from the driver's seat of their Ford F-150, I know I'm about to hear some shit. It's weird to hear rants against safe spaces recorded from the driver's seat of a small tank. That just seems weird to me. And sometimes the shit they say is so fucked that it stuns me in place. Like their mere suggestions are like that little thing in MIB where it goes pew, and then I'm just lost in whatever the fuck they're mad about. Donald Trump shut down his safe space to speak freely and safely today. He shut down his website from the desk of Donald J. Trump, his little mini blog. That lasted less than a month. But honestly, I'm not impressed. That's half as long as Sean Spicer lasted on Dancing with the Stars. Also, I'm going to end with this. These are the top 10 reasons why the workshop right here is a safe space for comedy. 1. There's almost never an audience, so that makes everything easier. 2, no one's gonna get their bonnet in a bunch when you go on a diatribe about postage stamps or whatever the hell you were randomly assigned. You're okay. 3, everyone's working on their set during your set anyways. 4, we all know comedians don't laugh at jokes. At best, they just go, that's funny. 5, no one can travel to hunt you down in real life thanks to the pandemic. 6, we can mute hecklers and your keyboard when you're working on your set. 7, I've been looking for gigs, and online is the right place to do that. My internet provider keeps telling me I should be getting several gigs per minute online. It's not working out like that. 8, everyone here loves the craft. 9, we're here to support each other. And 10, it's easy to keep the hecklers at bay when you offer them equal time at the end of each set. Thank you. On to you, hecklers.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah. It was a top 10 list. I don't know. I love the workshop. It's fun to do workshop-specific material. It plays really well in this room.
With garments, I would think that pockets are safe spaces.
Oh, yeah.
I would think pockets in a garment.
That's a good
You could
spot.
put stuff in there that no one knows about. And I wonder at what point the Proud Boys try to do a march during Pride Month. I think that would be hysterical.
Oh.
You know, we're proud. You know, would really rankle a lot of people.
Yeah.
The Proud
Yeah,
Boys
we support
tried to do something.
all sorts of gay, trans, and lesbian white people.
It just made me think of that.
I don't know.
And then I was really waiting for an example of one of your F-150 people. I just wanted to see where you might have, if you were going to go that way.
Oh.
So I don't have anything for you, but I thought you were going to say.
No,
this
I don't
and
have those Oakleys. The closest thing I have is these 3D glasses.
those are hip. Yeah, I like them.
If I'm a villain in a Back to the Future movie, maybe.
But
Ever get
overall, I
money-
think the topic
Ever get
itself
money?
is something worth doing.
It is. I think that's a deep well of
Worthwhile, yeah.
fragile male ego. I think that's a lot of fun. Ever see someone take money out of like their sock or something to pay for something, like they're keeping it like in their like anti-mugging hidey hole? Oh,
Yeah,
it's gross.
I get worked up.
Yeah.
I like how you started with international nationalism list. Sorry, you said the national of nationalism.
America is the
really
national nationalism
international
leagues.
Of national.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really good at that.
Yeah. I don't know. I get all confused when all of our Canadian teams go to America to compete in the World Series with only American teams. I'll be honest. I got the classifications get tricky.
Pretty embarrassing.
It is.
I like your Ford 150 reference. You can tie it back to the joke right before it when you talk about like the uselessness of tank tops, because like the same guy would also be like driving in a tank top that's so loose you can see his nipples anyway.
Maybe they both have the same PR issue. Maybe people are both calling them both a wife beater.
Didn't you say that last time, or someone else did?
Pardon?
Somebody else talked about the PR issue of that last time.
Oh, maybe. It's a common thing. I think it's... I skipped that whole angle on it because I think people stopped calling them that a while ago.
Mm.
I'm sure
Hilarious,
they called them,
hilarious piece of clothing, that's for sure. That,
Yeah, they're
that
dumb.
the
I don't own any of
stereotype-
them because they're
the
really dumb.
stereotype of that could
Yeah.
actually, you could see a guy in the 1950s with that on, and that persona, that thing, it just took hold until people went, no, you can't call it that. What is wrong with you? It's like such a derogatory thing that took hold in our culture for about 30 years, you know, and then it sort of got made fun of, and then it just kind of got dropped. But I often wonder about other types of family clothing, you know. It's like, you got the wife beater t-shirt, you know, I got the, you know, whatever uncle jacket, you know, the grandma socks, you know, you don't hear about anything. It's just that particular thing.
The
It's a
absent
shirt
father
with an
jeans,
accent.
you know.
There you
the
go,
list
yeah.
goes on and on.
An action with a part of a piece of clothing. It's incredible.
Oh, I do like that. That makes me want to think of golf clothes because they hit a lot of the ridiculous buttons for me.
Yeah.
All right, y'all set, Jerry?
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, next up, welcome to the stage, Jerry Minor.
Hey, I have never read a Stephen King novel. I have nothing against Stephen King. It's just that very few things scare me, and certainly not books. A red-headed bank teller, that is scary. Redheads are emotional wild cards, and I don't want that involved with my deposit. If you look at all the YouTube videos of actual bank robberies, none of them have a red-headed bank teller, because they'll walk in there and they're about to pass the note. They'll see the bank teller and they'll walk out, because those people are the stereotype of the crazy redhead. Pit bull owners scare me. Not the dog. The dog comes with its own set of, you know, instructions and warnings, but it's the people who think this is a good choice for a pet. And they're always trying to justify it. Oh, hey, they're good with kids. You know, oh yeah, as a digestible. You know, maybe in the recipe they're good with kids, right? But they always give them names like Chopper or Thanos or something that's really going to make you want to cuddle them. And that these people think they can trust a pit bull with when every piece of historical evidence tells you they're volatile and unpredictable. Pit bulls are like the Hulk without the GED. These are not nice dogs. Stop trying to convince me that they are. I don't want to have to sign a waiver to come to your house. This is not a case of poor branding. There are no stories of a pit bull saving a kid from drowning in a pool, you know, because the pit bull probably pushed him in the pool, right? That's why that happened. I saw a YouTube video where there was these 3 people sitting in a yard, and it was surrounded by chain link fence, and they were in there with their pit bull, and the dog is going crazy chasing this guy who's just walking by the front of the house. He's going crazy, and the video has 3 likes, probably the same people in the yard. 147,000 thumbs down. It's like these dogs are not likable. So I think the scariest thing about people who think a pit bull is a good pet is that these are voters. That's where I draw the line. If Stephen King were to write a story about a red-haired bank teller who owned a pit bull, I don't think I would sleep for weeks. So I wonder about Stephen King if he was always so troubled, because he is known for that one thing: horror stories, terror. That one thing is what he's known for, and it's like it's now become an adjective. You know, can you imagine doing something so well you're an adjective? Oh, those guys are like from a Stephen King novel. Like, that's incredible that he has that power. But I wonder if it started when he was a kid. Like, his very first poem was, "Stephen, you want to read a poem for the class?" Okay. There once was a kid in Juneau. His favorite game was Uno. He once got a 3, and with all sorts of glee, he haunted his 4th grade class until doomsday. Okay, that's a nice story there, Stephen. Why don't you go ahead and go outside for recess there? you know, uh, so here's something you never hear around Stephen King's house. Daddy, could you tell us a bedtime story? You might hear that one time, you know. Once upon a time, there were three bears, a mama bear and a papa bear and a baby bear who could turn invisible and wanted to extract the souls of children. You know, I don't think that's going to go over. So those are my Stephen King related jokes. There you go.
First off, Hulk doesn't just have a GED; he's got doctorates, plural. As a comic book nerd, that's just an immediate factual beef I have with that. But other than that, it was very
Bruce
good
Banner.
Material.
Bruce
Banner does. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but there's other versions there's other current MCU Hulk is Professor Hulk, who's got all the smarts, and then there's also Amadeus.
Yourself.
There's other smart, all the other
Yourself.
Hulks are smart. Fair enough. Sorry, I'm nerding out. Also, I would argue that Stephen King is known for two things: horror and cocaine.
Oh yeah.
And also, Mama Bear and Papa Bear have separate beds. Are they getting a divorce?
Quite possibly, with that baby bear around.
Someone's got to tell Baby Bear that they had problems in their marriage long before that hussy Goldilocks showed up.
Yes,
I loved
she
it.
was definitely not good. Well, thanks.
Do you have beef with pit bulls in real life?
What's that?
Did you have a bad experience with a pit bull?
They're horrible dogs. Why would anybody want one?
Because they're amazing.
Terrible. What's that?
Because they're amazing.
You're one of those people. You're like the person who's going, no, they're great. Yeah, they're horrible dogs. There's not one good story about a pit bull anywhere, ever.
They have bad PR, I'll give you that.
They need to rebrand.
Yeah.
They need to rebrand.
Same
I gotta see
PR
it.
as those wife beaters, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they have the same agent.
Yeah.
They have the same agent. He just started slacking off. Started completely phoning it in the 60s. That name is good enough. Pitbull, wife beater. These are great names. And they just stuck. No, it's hard to do anti-dog material, even when it's objectively based in fact. I mean, I've tried.
I'm not
and
anti-dog.
failed.
I'm anti-pitbull.
But yeah, okay. So you're
go to the
anti
Humane
dog shaped
Society.
murder tank.
They
But-
renamed the Humane Society the Pitbull Asylum. They changed it to the Humane Society because there's 95 pit bulls in various stages of decay and scars, and one sad, mixed breed. It's really horrible. People get them and they just don't know what to do with them, and they turn them in, and then they get euthanized, and that's not right. But people still get them. I think it's a mistake.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You might lose. I mean, you might split a room.
I doubt it.
Here's the only way I ever found that worked to enter as a way into anything that even approached anti-dog material. Is I would say
It's not anti-dog.
I
It's
know.
anti-pit
I'm
It
just
is,
saying it is.
I've got-
It is
I've
though.
got-
It's anti a specific breed of dog,
I've got
and it's
15
to
minutes
the people who are pit
of
bull
dog jokes
owners and
about great
lovers.
dogs.
It's anti
You know?
the thing they love, and there
Well,
some
that's-
people are gonna.
People got to have a sense of humor. I mean, they've got to know that the dog's got a bad rep. They've got to
Yeah,
be able to
that's
take
true.
it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to go and try to start a movement. If you can't listen to a few jokes about the reality of what the dog breed is out there in society, then maybe you're ill-equipped to sit in a room with people and laugh at material. I mean, that's horrible to think that that's something that would be a flashpoint for somebody. I mean, that's just with so many other more important things that's the sword you want to die on. Pit bulls, please. I mean, come on.
I've been surprised.
Well, I'm sure you have. I
I go into it by saying, I I like certain people. I even love certain people. But I like people on an individualized basis. Dogs are the same way. And some dogs I like, some dogs are absolute shits. And if I introduce dogs through the mechanism of disliking people, somehow the material works a little better. I've had trouble entering into that. People
I've
like
never had trouble.
dogs, even the ones
Yeah,
that are
people
trained
just
to
laugh 'cause They
kill,
want to laugh.
or bred to
People laugh
kill.
because they want to laugh.
Like, yeah. All right. Any other notes?
Politics will split a room. I don't think pit bulls, yet like them or don't like them, will split a room. Politics will.
Yeah.
I mean, in San Francisco, politics won't split a room.
Yeah. You get some
But
pretty
pit bulls would.
homogenous places. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure if you let some pit bulls loose in a room full of people in San Francisco, it would split the room.
I mean, if they've
That's
abused,
good.
maybe.
I like that joke.
Yeah,
I like that
is,
joke. That was a good joke.
I agree. You could go with that. You could run with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And the audience
joke
would
is
run
what
with
joke?
that too.
I missed the joke. What joke are you talking about?
Pitbulls, if you let pitbulls into a room, they would split the room.
That's the joke you think's funny.
I like
That's the
that
one you
joke.
guys like.
I
It's
like
not even
that
a
joke.
It's just a comment. Wow. Okay.
I was literal.
Maybe I'm trying too hard for the panel.
I'm a huge fan of puns, and
Okay.
and I'm not a fan of dogs, but also not a fan of doing any material that relates to dogs because it's gotten me in trouble.
I'm sorry to hear
And
that.
that's what I'm saying. That was just all my okay. Next up, we've got Amanda Karen.
All right. Thank you. So I'll be talking today about restaurants. I'll get there eventually. So I grew up on the East Coast, and I gotta say, I'm on the West Coast, and it's just better here. Can anyone actually explain why we're still pretending that humans are meant to delight, revel in engulfing ourselves in tundric conditions? No, not tantric. That I get. So without taking out a second mortgage on winterized, polarized goggles and down parkas, stuff I can't even pronounce, like balaclava. I think that's a Greek pastry. The one that makes the roof of my mouth feel like I just blew Ron Jeremy. I then need to use that money to afford the gear that keeps me warm, and without it, freezing, dying limbs turn bright white, then red, then deep blue. It's patriotic, really. So we've got that going for us here in California. Just a bunch of fruits and nuts. We are. But while we embody all that is trail mix, all for all our Bikram, goat yoga, and crystal-infused aromatherapeutic agave mate, what we don't have is a passable excuse for pizza or bagels. Don't even get me started on Jewish delis. I do not want to hear that your Mexican flatmate says that the matzo ball soup at Noah's Deli is better than los chilaquiles de su abuelita. There's a special place in hell for Sir Noah bagels. That's bagels, comma Noah in Dewey Decimal. How dare he desecrate the delicacies with these bastardizations of Yiddishkeit? Food is all Jews have. Jesus died for his sins, for disgracing the food of his tribe. So, I mean, we've got the smorgasbord, knishes, babka, half sours, rugelach, pastrami on rye, DOA on the West Coast. Another species, though, another phylum of restaurant that didn't make the manifest destiny out here, buff fucking phase. Buffets. Too thin, too healthy, too Ketosaurus Rex over here. not shoving their fat pie holes because they're so woke. But everyone's caught up now. Now no one has buffets anymore. 2020 laid rest those delicious cesspools of microorganisms. Those sticky chicken, pineapple jello mold, squid dim sum menageries, all spiced with great uncle's mucus and your sister-in-law's dripping sweat after her Pilates. That real walk by for thirds, trip on the soft serve machine and put back the cone with lint all over it. It was an art. No longer will we have the privilege of a repeated walk of shame, lapping the rest of our families to the embarrassed yet envious glare of those idiots who decided to opt in for a la carte. My dad, the quintessential old curmudgeon, he lives back east in the land of the bagel. He can't stand any non-old country nosh. Like, more ethnocentric than the average Jew. He's always amazed that in Indian restaurants, they don't have speed bumps on the way to the bathroom. That's all I got.
All right.
I love the idea of the lines being drawn over flavors. Like how that was like where the religions. It seemed like that was like the thesis. Like that was where the religions split. Like Jesus was like, "Yay, bacon wrapped shrimp," and and Moses was like, "No." And it was like, but that's. I liked it. I liked the angle on it. Jared?
Oh, I didn't see any jokes in there. I was waiting for jokes. It was more of an essay than you were like taking me right to the edge with the setups, which were really strong and well thought out. And then I was waiting for punchlines. But that's just, I try to not think ahead of you. And that's what I end up doing. I kept moving a little forward. But, you know, like you said, it's just a workshop. I doubt that's something you're going to want to work on and put in your act. Those type of things, you know. I mean, Ron Jeremy, really? Would you really want to be known as that person who does those jokes? I mean, they're just so beaten over the head with those things. I mean, we get it. There's pornography people. Give me something funny. I mean, you could do so much better than that. Set yourself apart instead of just going down to the lowest common denominator. You know, you could do way better. But that's just me.
Oh, that's super helpful. I do work a lot on, I do like focus a lot on the setup. Yeah. I think my style is like those really long run-on sentences, but people get lost in them.
You did some good
building. When I lived in Los Angeles, I used to go and watch what they called the alternative comics. They were my friends, but it really wasn't my style. So I didn't opt to perform. They would always invite me, but I never would. But you know, Paul F. Tompkins and Jack Black and Janine Garofalo. And they had a way about them that they could do that, what you're doing. They could almost tell a story, but if you really looked at what they were doing, their stories had punchlines. So like you were telling this story, and it was the same sort of thing that those guys would do. And they're all, you know, very famous and successful. So the format of telling a story and just tricking people. Like, I'm not really telling jokes. I'm just telling a story about back east and west coast. But you really have 3 laughs per minute, like any other stand-up routine. And, you know, that's not my style, you know, of telling stories. But that was theirs. And those people were really successful. They were onto something, you know. And I don't know.
I think I was waiting for a turn or like a twist or something at the end of you created this whole setup, and I was waiting for something like shocking or interesting or sudden to happen in that world that you'd built.
Ah, okay.
But it was very colorful. I liked it very much.
Thanks.
Did you grow up in restaurants?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
Very like food centric for sure. Like all the holidays and old country stuff.
How are the California bagels? I've heard good things, but then I've also heard a lot of like angry New Yorkers, and but they're I can't tell if that's just regular New Yorkers or
Yeah.
not.
I make my parents like actually fly out here with bagels in their suitcase.
Oh, okay. So there's a difference. There's a difference between the California bagels. It's like is it like a different thing?
It's the like metallic makeup of the water.
Huh.
Supposedly.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so okay. So it's like it's the New York pizza water whole classic.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
There's a guy in Westwood
that.
who owns a couple of pizza places, and he has his water brought in from the East Coast for his pizza dough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
I hear that. But I just feel like you could evaporate it and put it in a little packet or something. Like
Good
shipping
point.
water seems ridiculous. I don't know. It seems like some like home like New York water to make bagels on
frozen, or
another
is yours
coast,
frozen?
or I think she is just frozen in a gas that I would say such a thing about not using New York water in bagels.
No, you've got a good startup idea there.
Like that's right. Just reduce it. Just boil the shit out. Like whatever the little like shells or whatever the fuck from the harbor
Yeah.
they're talking about that's in there. Because it's like people have tried to quantify it. Like just I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't ship liquid water. That seems like a lot of waste.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Sorry. I got over passionate about it. That's your job. Okay.
I really appreciate that. That's very eye opening that I set shit up and then jump off.
I thought about that. I thought about that when I found out that they were shipping water to pizzerias in like Southeast Asia and like around like South Africa and like around the like on the Horn of Africa, like in order to make that authentic pizza. And that's when I was like that's a lot of water going by water to get to like a place that has a lot of their own water, like like I don't know. That's
like
the
a ship
first.
on a ship on a shipping ship.
It's one of those. I'm fascinated by those things that stack in rules of three to like a little bit too far. Things that are I feel like they're naturally funny. All right, now we're gonna go on to the section where we try out some of our own material. And I'm going to work on some of this. So, you guys, here in Canada, I recently got the vaccine. And I'm really excited about that. It was so easy. It was so much easier than learning how to spell Pfizer. It was real quick. In and out. But you know how a needle works. It was just a quick jab. And I did apologize for punching the nurse, but that is my getting stabbed reflex. But I just want to breeze through that part of the story. I just want the lockdown to end. I haven't been this frustrated by a color-coded warning system since 2002, back when George W. Bush was president. I don't know. I'm really glad that I got the vaccine. I mean, the first day I was really achy, but 今天我可以是和你一点点, so that's new. I like that. And also, I'm feeling great now. Not only because I'm no longer crippled by fear, but also my 5G connection is working great. And I got the Pfizer. And I did the research, and there's the Oxford vaccine that starts working in 7 to 10 days. And then there's also the Moderna vaccine that Dolly Parton funded. It starts working in 9 to 5. Because Dolly Parton. People are saying that the vaccine will change your DNA. And I don't even want to know what my DNA is to start with. I've seen what my hair grew out like during the pandemic, and I'm worried if I get a DNA test, it'll come out 3/4 Irish and 1/4 Irish setter. I swear to God. I'm also worried about going back out there because I'm worried the Venn diagram of people who don't want a vaccine and the people who never wanted to wear a vaccine wear a mask in the first place. I'm worried that Venn diagram's a goddamn circle. I genuinely believe, though, that for the entire remainder of human existence, we will never fuck up the toilet paper supply line ever again. I'm pretty sure we learned our lesson with that. I'm sure we are gonna have lots of toilet paper and lots of hand sanitizer with the wrong consistency that smells like ass for till the end of time. I am so frustrated with the hand sanitizer, you guys. I don't know about you, and I know it's a quantity over quality situation, but what is the smell they are going for? Is it dive bar bathroom floor? Because they are, if so, they are fucking nailing it. And oh, you guys, look, that's what clean smells like, guys. Aren't you so happy to smell so clean all the time? Oh man, it's a fucking gamble when you push that one arm bandit when you're going into the store. You don't know the consistency, you don't know the resistance, you don't know the speed. I have actually hit people behind me with that thing, and it's just a social nightmare. But all of these things are worth it. All of these things are worth it if I can go outside again. I just want to do karaoke again. I have had no Sweet Caroline. I have had no hands, no touching me, no touching you. I want that back. Anyways, that's all of me for right now. Thank you guys. Good night.
I don't know if they have it in Canada, but some of the stores here in Washington and Tacoma area have the hand sanitizer that smells like tequila. And it's really like, whoa, that smells like tequila. And people are like, yeah. So can you imagine you get pulled over by the police? You've been drinking? Nah, just got some clean hands. You know?
Just clean living.
Yeah, they guess they've tried to put different scents in them. And one of them is a tequila smell. It's really, really powerful smell. Yeah.
Yowza. Don't eat the worm.
Yeah, you could say you're right. You could say it's another kind of clean living.
Yeah.
So you went
How
through
long you
like
been working on that hunk?
A couple weeks. As soon as I started working on that, as soon as I started having a little bit of confidence that the before times might come back in a big way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I started I started writing those at the same time I started burning everything about being in lockdown. Or I have to rework it so it's that I used to be in lockdown and now I'm not. But yeah, that got piled onto the stop. We've got a couple of comments from the group. This one is actually for Amanda. It's a little bit out of context now, and it's from an unknown person, but it says tantric sex was good. Was that?
Amazing.
I think that was.
Thanks.
Yeah. Facebook user also liked the quick jab remarks, and that's fucking gold. I love a good pun. The tequila hand sanitizer. Tequila the germs.
To kill all the germs.
Tequila all the germs. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good. I love it.
Thanks, Facebook user.
Facebook user, you can click that little link in the description of the video, and that will authorize the StreamYard to see your name, and then your name can show up in the stream. All right. Next up, we've got Jerry Minor.
Oh, okay. So I just saw where the gray whale got taken off the endangered species list, and they had a big party, and that's got to be the worst thing that could ever happen to a whale or any animal, really, because one day life is great. You know, you're getting spoon fed by interns. You get the best medical care. There's a breeding program, and then you just they leave the gate open. They don't care anymore. I mean, that's got to be the one job, by the way, you don't want. You better get there early when they're handing out jobs at the whale place. You know, Alex, you're going to be working on feeding, and Sandra, you're going to team with the vets today, and Gus, whale sex. Sorry, it's all we got. I mean, what a total shock for those whales, you know. If I was a whale, I'd be thinking one thing: how do I get back on the list? You know, I'd just be swimming around in the oceans thinking, you know, right, there's There's 1,000 of us. I need 500 to get back on the list. I got to kill 500 of my friends, and I got to find a way to blame it on an octopus because I cannot take the rap for this. But whales are smart. You know, one whale is going to figure it out. That's all they need. I also I love a good high-speed police chase. I love it. It really exposes the thin skill set of the news team because they have to think on their feet because it's happening in real time. Now we have breaking news of a police chase. Let's go to Ernie and the news copter. They don't even want to talk. They go right to the news copter guy. Normally they're like long-winded about stuff. Let's go right to the copter. And then the copter guy's like, oh, there's an unknown person of interest in an unknown vehicle being pursued for an unknown reason. Right? They have nothing. That's all they want. It's always a person of interest. You know, we don't know if he's involved in a crime, but he's an amateur glass blower. Right? You know, that's the 911 call. You want 911. What's your emergency? Oh, a man has broken into my house and he's making puka shell bracelets. Oh, that's so interesting. You know, and then slowly the information starts to come in. It looks like the driver's in a 1994 Taurus. And then the chopper guy, I had one in college and they get notoriously poor gas mileage. This chase is not going to last very long, you know? And then the guy goes, well, it turns out the dispute was at a 7-Eleven over a gallon of milk. And then the guy in the studio is like, well, milk prices have been historically high. I can see that might have set him off, you know? So I like a high-speed chase. I also like the movies. I really like the movies, but I don't understand why there's so many credits. It's like 15 minutes of reading at the end of the movie. It's like it's just every possible name. It's the only product where everybody remotely involved in the film gets their name on it. It's the only. It's like you don't do that with milk. Like you get a carton of milk. Like, oh, the cow's name was Bessie and the farmer was Steve. He lives in Kansas, you know, and he's got a son named Jimmy who washes the truck, you know, brings him lunch. It's like I can understand the writer and the director. Of course, you want the actors' names, maybe the producer, but the electricians, right? You know, the caterer, the driver. I mean, who cares? Has anybody ever had that conversation? You know, I was watching Wonder Woman 1984, and then I thought, you know what? They look just as well fed as the people from Avengers Endgame. It was the same caterer. Can you believe it? Nobody cares about that stuff. And then they put stuff in there like no animals were harmed during the filming of this movie. It just goes right. No animals were harmed. It's like they're trying to prevent a lawsuit when they have to say during the filming, right? No animals were harmed during the filming. Yeah, afterwards we killed a horse, but that was a crazy party, and that's not in the credits. Or they say stuff like the opinions of this are not that of the filmmakers. Right? The opinions shown in the movie are not those of the film. It's Kung Fu Panda. What possible opinions could you have? Right? Well, you know, geese don't actually speak, and we don't want to go to court on that. And then I had some other jokes about pandas, but I'm going to stop there because my voice is kind of cracking. But all right, there you go. Some jokes.
Hey. I think when you go from the craft services to the no animals hurt during the making of the film, you might be like, oh really? No animals were hurt? Talk to craft services. Ask what they served.
Yeah, that's good.
Good point. So, like, you know, you're assuming everything's vegetarian or vegan.
Yeah,
it's a good connection. That's a good connection. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, that was also, you will fuck up an entire production if you don't have good catering. I can tell you that. Like, if you have a hangry crew, it gets bad real quick. I'll tell you that much. That's why. But like, I'm just in defense of Crafty. They are the real heroes. Everyone's like a little uncomfortable when they see the DP showing up. Not DP is not what that acronym is, director of photography. When DP's coming your way, obviously you get a little scared sometimes. But when Crafty shows up, everyone gets excited. It's a very happy time.
Good.
I don't know if you meant the pun, but you said like Taurus as notoriously, and then I thought Jester would appreciate that because it was like Taurus notoriously.
I missed that, but now that you pointed it
I
out,
wasn't going for a pun, but thank you. I will remove that.
no, make it more prominent. I love a pun.
I like when you get like super. It seems like your style is like you get super specific about like one thing that helps us visualize it. Like you said, like what are they making below the house? Like puka shell bracelets. The images like, are so random and like acute that they really bring certain things to life. And like I think you have like a spontaneity, like when you said, "Oh, you know, it was a petty crime, but the milk prices were high, so I see where he was coming from." I think like the element of kind of turning it around there is really
thanks.
effective.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was really good. I loved that bit. You took me on a little helicopter ride, and I liked it.
Yeah, my style is I like to write the material, and I get worked up when I perform it. You know, I'm not a guy who's worked up in general, but when I'm on stage in front of a crowd or in front of two other people, it infects me. I get worked up, you know, and it helps me think, you know, helps me with the jazz of the whole thing and being able to improvise the different notes. But thanks for the comments.
There's this old line in my head. I don't know where I got. I know I got this from somewhere, but I can't cite it. I don't know. It's first on the scene of the crash of Chopper 5. It's Chopper 5, and I know that's from I think that's something I heard from 3 different middle schoolers that I went to middle school with at the time, and it's either it's from something or all of these comedy nerd middle schoolers all came up with this independently, but it's probably
Comedy nerd middle schoolers. Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, no, don't you remember just I used to have whole goddamn conversations in Monty Python quotes and shit.
That sounds a lot better than my childhood.
It was fun. It was dorky. But it was fun.
Eric has a good comment for you, Jerry. Eric said, we put animal abuse on hold to film. It was a little too much multitasking. We were at risk of being over budget.
Oh, and also the caterer is how they hide the hurt animals, which is good because sometimes the crew is hungry enough to eat a horse.
Facebook user for the win.
I like a pun. That's not a pun. That's not a pun. That's just a popsicle stick joke. It's a different type of terrible joke.
I do love the phrase "beat a dead horse." That's
beat a dead horse. Yeah.
Beating a dead horse is funny. Oh, that's an adorable little dog.
He wanted to come in because he heard you talking about him.
Yeah.
I have a joke.
Like
I make so many puns sometimes. I say, that's not even beating a dead horse. That's going so far as to desecrate its grave.
Yeah.
But you should be specific, how desecrate, peeing after
beating it. I don't know.
Drinking water for a few days. Yeah. Peeing after eating asparagus, desecration.
I'd have to come up with some
specifics.
I do. Specificity is funny. Quite often. All right. You ready? You and your doggy ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really hope nobody rings the doorbell right now. All right. So here's my favorite pandemic perk. COVID dating is not as bad as I thought it'd be. Getting ready for a 2021 explosion where chlamydia is going to be the new corona. But with the bull market spike in sad Roblox masturbation, the inventory on the dating app circuit is getting restocked. Some quality refurbished merch available and at a good price. sure, a bit used. Maybe a saggy tail light, smaller piston than I'd like, but at least there's still elastic in the seatbelt. And anyway, it's not an ownership situation, more like a rental, lease to own. Well, so I did start a pandemic relationship, and I define that as the bottom half of their face, as opposed to the bottom half of their body, is a surprise on the first date. So he and I reached a milestone of sorts. Not quite a year, but not, if he'd knocked me up on our first time, I'd be popping one out any day now. So we're going, so, like 9 months. So we're going to get fucking wasted to fucking without fucking up. But no, we ended up ending because I gained the COVID-19. And at some point, all his texts were just because he's touching himself to Jill Valentine. So I just put my updated pics up and got some gems from potential suitors. This one was really, really made me feel great. I'm gonna make a "Yo Mama So Fat" joke to our children. And the prize of it all is, let me put it to you this way. My attraction to you is, it's not physical, it's more gravitational. That's what I have.
Okay. Jester?
I had a note, and I thought, I'm not going to write it down. I'm going to remember this. And then guess what happened?
Always happens.
So, yeah,
Just
give me a
like
minute.
dreams of the morning.
Give me a minute.
I got nothing. I'm sorry.
All good.
I think you could do much better than that.
I remember
All
what it
the
was.
Sex jokes and stuff. It's just, we get it. People have sex. What else you got? You can do so much better. Tell me about your life. Tell me about your dog. Tell me about your earrings. Tell me about anything. That stuff is just so, you're playing to the lowest common denominator. Amanda, you could do so much better. I'm not even joking. I don't even know you, but I know you can just from sitting here listening to your personality. You're way better than that. And I'm not trying to tear your material down. I'm sorry. It's coming off negative. Don't mean to
Tell
be
us
negative.
3 specific things about the bottom of the face reveal. And that could really, I think, would really expand that. And also, I could tell your energy got bigger and better as soon as as soon as you put down the persnickety doggy. And that, because you went, I could tell you were at this calm delivery, like trying to keep the dog still, and then you were like, and now, and then you started gesticulating, and it started going better for you in the second half. Sans puppers.
Let's think about
and
this.
And that's not anti-dog material. I'm just gonna say that wasn't. I know I get into trouble this way.
It was anti-pit bull. It wasn't anti-dog.
I know.
It was anti-pit bull. Anyway, let's think about this for a second. Okay, I'm married, so this.
You
doesn't
want me
apply to
back
me.
with the endangered whale stuff?
Let's think about what you're doing. So COVID dating. So prior to COVID dating, people would go to Match or eHarmony, and they would meet somebody on a video to decide if they were going to see them live. COVID, you meet them on a video to decide if you want to go to a longer video, right? That's all you had. That's the small margin to work with, and it seems like it was almost a safer way to meet somebody until you wanted to get to really know them, see how they are. Do they spit when they talk? Do they have any odors? Do their clothes fit? But the idea of people soldiering on during COVID, still trying to meet that special somebody, I find remarkably funny. And just an untapped, I have not seen anybody on any of the late night shows or any of the festival portals do anything about that, about what it was like to try to actually meet somebody and then move on from there. It's definitely a good premise.
I had no idea that people weren't beating that to death.
Well,
There's a
maybe
really
my
great
sample is a small
SNL
sample
music
then.
video that I love. That's called "Bottom of Your Face."
Yes.
It's like, let me see the bottom of your face, and it's like, it's actually a legit jam, and I sing it to myself quite often. Oh, yeah.
With yeah, it's one of SNL's gems from the past year.
They did a really good job this past year, I thought, especially at the when everyone else was doing a real crap job and no one else had figured out lighting and makeup yet. I I thought they were like putting like all sorts of graphics on screen. And I was really
Oh,
happy to
you
see
mean
that.
when they were still at home?
Yeah, like at the early outset of the pandemic. I know I'm kind of going back in time now, but Stephen Colbert was still in a fucking bathtub, and like SNL was like, you know, really kind of pulling together some fun bits, and I was really impressed.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't need to jack off SNL. they get enough adulation, but I'm a huge fan. So, does anyone have any plugs for tonight?
I'm booking shows in the fall. That's all I've got. I've got 4 shows booked now in the fall. I'm very excited. But we'll see.
Where? Where are you from?
Me?
Mm.
I grew up in California. I was born in Greece. I grew up in California, and I live in Washington now the last 10 years.
Cool. There's a cool comedy scene in Seattle that I know of.
Yeah, I don't really do comedy clubs anymore.
Okay.
I sort of moved past that. You know, I sort of have my own thing that I do, and you know, it would just be, there's no point in it for me to do them. To try to get stage time, yeah, but there's so many other of those in the cool scene that are taking all the good spots. There's no point in trying to battle them. You know, I got kids, and I already can get tour dates, so I don't need to really do that. But
Plus, with the club scene,
those are the days, yeah.
comedy loves low ceilings, but also so does COVID-19. So there's that. So you have to pick what shows you're gonna do, right?
Yeah, you know, I just try to. I mean, we had 10 theaters booked in 2020 that canceled, and then we lost the insurance for the theaters. And then I called the insurance guy to try to get a refund. He's like, "You should have got insurance for your insurance." So that was kind of funny, but you know, you lose that and just starting over again. But it looks like the fall people are going to start to do stuff because like 4 have booked, and you know, the hard part is finding good opening acts, you know, that, you know, understand what it's like to be an opening act, and they're not trying to stretch 15 into 40 because they've got a crowd in front of them, you know. And so you got to pay them more. You pay them more, they'll do the time, right? Instead of saying, here's $50, pay them $500 to do 15 minutes, they'll do 15 minutes, you know.
Starting a crowd is like
So
starting an engine.
that's the idea.
You got to give it a couple of good hard goes before you can really make her purr. Amanda, anything to plug?
Well, you can find me at A Karen Comedy, with a couple of K's in there, where hopefully people aren't always turning me a new one, but if I deserve it, I appreciate it.
Well, as my topic, this is was said. This is a safe space. We all love and support each other here. We're happy to build a community here in the workshop. You can find me hosting on Wednesday nights and Thursday nights here in the workshop. On Thursday nights, we do game night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, which is a little bit earlier than the normal workshop, but it works for the coasts. So, from all of us to all of you, thank you and good night.
All right, thanks.